My name is Briana Benn. I am the owner of Blair Co Logistics. I am from Atlanta, Georgia, and I guess you would consider me an entrepreneur. So 2021, I was probably what you would consider in my prime. In 21, that was really that was Blair Co's kind of breakout year. A lot has changed since 21, as far as a lot of lessons learned business wise, a lot of personal development that was needed to get me in the position that I am in now. But a lot of the dynamics of how I've structured my business has changed since the last time we did link up.
What changed?
So basically, when I first started, how I really got started, well, I had a truck, didn't want to go that route, and I actually created like a dispatch and operations service. So basically, I've set up over 60 motor carriers. So investors would come to me and I would set their companies up. They didn't want to have nothing to do with it. Literally find their truck, their trailer, their driver, and then we would actually operate it as well. So we would put money on it. But outside of that too as well, we were actually doing all of the operations. So the owner didn't have to do nothing. If that truck went down at 2 o'clock in the morning, you know, they were calling us and we were finding a tire for it if it blew out, you know. So even though I didn't have the financial responsibility for it, I still had the stress behind it. You know, I was basically a professional firefighter. I had to put all the fires out. I had over 15 dispatchers, and I would kind of divvy up all the trucks that we operated. We had got up to like 30 trucks at one point, so all the dispatchers would have like 4 to 5 trucks depending on, you know, based off their performance and what they could handle. And then we also had a back end team as well that handled, you know, making sure all the loads got paid for the trucks and everything like that. So I would say last year, at the beginning of last year, as you guys know, you know, diesel spiked like crazy. A lot of trucks, that put a lot of trucking companies out of business. So I actually kind of decided, because I was just so stressed out, you know, from operating literally, like I said, even though I didn't have the financial responsibility of paying for maintenance or, you know, paying the truck note or paying insurance, I had the stress behind it. So, you know, personally, that really put a toll on me, just as far as, you know, weight gain, anxiety, everything, you know. So at the beginning of last year, I kind of shut everything down. Ended up finding out that, you know, kind of my right hand man, I started to have like carriers like tell me like, I don't want to run up under you no more, you know. And I had found out on the back end that the person that was actually working directly under me actually was, you know, getting these people to come. She was operating them, you know, at a lesser percentage. So, you know, it was a lot of lessons learned that was needed, and I kind of just came back to the table and I actually just upped my middleman. So I'm actually a full-blown freight brokerage now. So that means, you know, dispatchers call me for the loads. So I get the loads directly from the shipper. We can actually give them to carriers that we have dedicated, or we can put them on the load board. Right now, as of recently, you guys are here at DSC. I've actually contracted with them to I have built out training courses, logistic courses for them. So Ms. Willie Jones, president of Women for Progress, and she has owned DSC for over 30 years. She actually agreed to let me come in and build these courses out for the school, where I actually teach people how to set up their authorities. If they want to set up a brokerage, I teach them how to do that, and then I actually teach them how to dispatch and operate as well. So you come in and take the training, and, you know, I teach you everything that you need to know, you know, to be successful in the trucking industry. And I also help heavy with recruiting and admissions. I kind of fell upon that. So in transition, you know, I would have to say that it's a lot more purposeful, you know. Like, I took a lot of L's that year, especially last year, but even getting back in that position financially, now I have way less stress than I had prior to, you know, dealing with the carriers, dealing with a full team of people. And now come to me and I'll teach you, because I've taken every L that you could take, literally. And like I said, it's a lot more purposeful now, especially dealing with the school, even with the students that come in. You know, when you're able to come in and you're literally, you know, you don't know what direction you want to take, and you can give somebody training and they literally can start off, you know, making $50,000 a year, you know, that's meaningful, because that's changing that person's life and their family life. And we're doing it in Jackson too, you know, so, you know, that's the whole thing about it. We want people in the community to come in so that we can put them in higher wages. Tremendously. I can't say that I would be in the position that I am in now if I didn't take care of myself or take it serious. Like I said, that year I was in my prime, you know, I'm getting money, I'm eating good, you know, I'm not really thinking about none of that, but it was definitely taking a toll on my body. You know, I had gained almost like 80 something pounds. It was crazy. So literally, as you know, business was declining because of the diesel prices and, you know, companies not being able to stay up. You know, that was a lot. That was a big hit, not only on my business but on myself personally. So literally, when I came back to the drawing board, me developing myself personally, that was part of the plan, you know. So like I said, you know, I had anxiety to a point where, you know, I could feel it, just being so stressed out and dealing with so much stuff. And I just locked in, and I lost over 70 pounds last year in like 6 months. And literally, once I started to actually take that serious and started dropping the weight, you know, mentally my clarity just opened up. So once my mental opened up, now I can tap in deeper spiritually, you know what I'm saying? You know, and your energy wise, you just have a more get up and go. So I can't say that I wouldn't be in the position that I'm in today if I didn't actually take my personal growth serious, as more specific when it comes to, you know, me physically. So that's definitely something that I recommend entrepreneurs to take serious, because you can have all the money in the world, but if you physically can't enjoy it, what's the point? You know, if you're not gonna be here, if you know, in a wheelchair when you 60, 70 because you wasn't taking care of your body, what's the point? We doing all this work now, you know. So that's a huge part of it, is taking care of yourself. Even getting older, you start to deal with certain relationships in your life, and until you kind of tackle certain things personally, you won't really know how much it's affecting the relationships in your life. You know, when it comes to friends and family, you know, you'll be able to start correcting things with yourself. So I would have to say it helped a lot of relationships in my life. Even as a parent, I'm a whole mom out here, you know, not being, you know, I'm stressed out, but I have a whole child, you know, that's looking for me coming home every day, to actually deal with and spend time with. So I would have to say that it helped the relationships in my life a lot. It's a great experience. Like I said, it's kind of bittersweet. You know, I actually recently had a graduate. His name is Sean Johnson. He came in. He was referred by one of my friends, and he has a story of his own. But he came in, you know, and he was 100% committed when he sat in his chair right there, and we did his paperwork. And he got in and he got the job done, and he just graduated like a week and a half ago. But you know, seeing that transition, you know, from day one to actually graduating, and now you finna go out there and you got a whole career now, you know, that's a good feeling. And it's way beyond the school. You know, me and Ms. Jones have a lot of projects that we're working on, actually coming together with a few judges in Hines County, where we're actually trying to offer alternative sentencing. So instead of, you know, just sending them off to jail or whatever, you know, force them to come get workforce training, you know, where they actually can be productive, and put them back in the workforce at a higher wage, you know, not just going to go get a minimum wage job. So like I said, we're trying to work with a lot of high schools. You can get your CDL at 18. So we actually have a lot of students that come in that are about to graduate that might be 18 or just graduated already, but they don't want to go to college, you know, so they want to get a non-traditional job. And you have 18-year-olds, 21-year-olds coming in and getting their CDL, and they're making more money than a lot of 30-year-olds. So being able to put them in that position and find opportunities for them to be able, you know, to get the tuition covered or however that might be, it's purposeful, you know what I'm saying? So God gonna pay you 10 times once you actually do what you need to do and provide services in your community. A lot of people want to go outside of Jackson, you know, and provide their service, but why not, you know, make your city greater? Why not make the demographics of where you're living greater? So yeah, it's pretty dope. It's pretty dope. I enjoy it. One of my good friends, Khadijah, she actually does motivational speaking, where she go to colleges and high schools and she'll talk to students about purpose. We actually linked up one day at a coffee shop, and we were trying to put together a play as far as how we can bring it into high schools, just as far as trucking, and you know, we knew we needed a school to do that. She actually had the contact from Ms. Jones. So we actually set up a meeting with Ms. Jones, and she actually ended up needing me more than I needed her. She actually was looking for someone that she could trust with quality, you know, a quality course to build out for her for the logistic courses. So it actually ended up kind of working out, because the works that she was doing as far as trying to get high school students to get their CDL was already kind of in line. So I just basically built out the courses for Ms. Jones, and I ended up kind of dibbling and dabbling in a lot of other stuff. Leadership Greater Jackson is basically like a 6-month program where you actually, we hit a few different topics. You have to be selected for it. We deal a lot with social injustice, workforce development, racism, the history of Jackson, and tying all these things together to be able to, one, network with the people, you know, that you're rubbing shoulders with, and also provide the service, whatever service you might offer. You know, what can we do to be good leaders in Jackson and make the city of Jackson greater? So very thankful for that opportunity. I've met a lot of people through Leadership Greater Jackson. Ms. Jones actually went through Leadership Greater Jackson. Like I said, she is the president of Women for Progress, which is a group of women across Mississippi, entrepreneurs. So she's doing a lot of good works, and I'm honored to be a part of these projects that she's put me on. Try to see what we can do to put people on a clear pathway to success. That's all she's about. You know, we don't want to just set anybody up for the okie doke. We want to make sure that we're actually setting them up for success. So, you know, here at the school, we don't want you to just get your CDL. We bring people in to talk about your mindset. We bring people in to talk about money management. A lot of these people have never made this type of money before. So don't just give them a CDL and let them make the money. You know, bring somebody in, a professional who can teach them how to manage their money, how to take care of their bills when they're on the road. We care about the whole person, not just getting you the CDL. So it's a lot of great works that's being done here at DSC. Hey, this is Bree. This is my follow-up with the Jacksonian media. Thank you for watching.